Hello, I'm Simon Mason, and this video is created to give a bit of a feel for the value of a simulator in helping us in the real world, and in particular in this case with historic cars, not something that's often associated with simulators. So what I've done to try and demonstrate that is a couple of laps around Goodwood circuit using an historic sports car on an L or an M section type tyre, so a car tyre that moves around a lot and you have to brake early with, etc. Just to show you that it can be done and that it is relevant, and then at the end of the video I'll run through how it's relevant. Oof, that could have been expensive. Yes, well, we'll talk about what just happened there in a moment, how that ended. But in a way, that's also the important feature of a simulator. What's very easy to do in a simulator is to have an accident, like I just had then, and think, oh, this thing is so unrealistic and all the rest. Well, if you actually look at what happened, look at how it went, you can very easily come up with solutions in what I need to change next time as a driver to make it so that that doesn't happen again. And isn't that what driving quickly is and safely is all about? And having fun along the way. But we have fun by being efficient, by concentrating, looking ahead, getting the most out of the car we're driving. Now what I hope you can see from that video is first and foremost that we can replicate an M or L section type tyre, so a very loose tyre, a car that will move around a lot. We can replicate those really well in a simulator. The only thing that's missing, of course, is the seat of the pants element, the G and the yaw. And no amount of motion, you cannot put any sort of motion you like on a simulator that will replicate that seat of the pants bit properly, because it can't sustain the movement. It can give you the movement and then it stops. So as an experienced driver, you'll soon write off that cue. But initially it gives a good wow factor. But the key thing is that we're missing something, that seat of the pants, that G and yaw, we're missing that from the driving experience. And therefore it's easy for some people to argue that it's not like the real thing. Well, I hope you can see from the 2.5 or so laps that I've done before, and that was 6-7 laps into a session, that you can indeed keep going without crashing and have the car moving around using exactly the same logic and approach that we would in the real world. The only thing that the G and the yaw, the seat of the pants element, gives us is an additional cue that something's going wrong. So when it's really, really leery, or we've really made a mistake, it might just be the difference between catching it and not catching it. So granted, that bit is missing, but all the bits before then are still there. They're all still absolutely there, and I think this video shows that very well because of the angles we can get to, the amount of movement. And if you're listening, and this is the key thing, if you're listening to how I'm being obliged to use the throttle, I'm rolling in and out the throttle, you can hear lock-ups, you can hear then I have to ease off the brake pedal pressure, so you're tuning into the car, which is exactly what we want to do in the real world, to not only be safe but also to be faster. And however you want to go about your driving, at the end of the day the car only knows what we as the human behind the wheel are giving it to do. And when something fails or something starts to go off, as in this case where the rear tyres are starting to get hot as well, you've got a cue. So I had in the last lap that you see there, the car's starting to get looser, but I sort of kept going with it. Now I know that that is actually the tyres are going off, so next time I drive in that simulator, I would, at about lap 6-7, I'll start to wind my entry speeds back a little bit, wind my gas application out to be a little bit more gentle, maybe look to get the steering lock off a little bit earlier, looking ahead and so on. But the point is, that's what we would do in the real world as well, and we're learning it in the simulator. We're learning not to just go out and go, oh wow, I'm driving on a circuit. Instead we're going, what do we need to do to have control over this car so that we can first stay safe and second go faster, and therefore enjoy our amazing experience of being on a race circuit in whatever amazing car it is we're privileged to drive. Hope you find that useful.